IRP 133. Steve, Vinny, and Dave here. Window lickers, and I don't say it's going to be a series of national things, but I mean we're going to integrate a lot of this because two of these folks on the screen have never been to a national, and one of these folks has. I'll let your imaginations run wild, like Hulkamania. What's going on, Orlando? And just go through some just pretty generic topics, but also stuff where it's not, instead of the usual, bring a granola bar and some water, wear comfortable shoes, put on deodorant.
No.
Walk and breathe at the same time. Is that going to be the next fucking bit of suggestive help that we need?
Let me get out Notepad.
Yes, Vinny, take notes. Take notes so we can retrieve later.
Check value boxes.
What are those?
You kidding me? There's going to be value boxes?
What are value boxes, Dave? I've never heard of those.
Elizabeth, is he coming home?
I am.
Instead of value boxes,
sort of probably opine, I'd say, on some subjects, and again, there'll be diatribes and rambling and soapbox extending and retracting and extending again and possibly retracting. But this way, again, you can join in if you're live right now, and or post show comment below, which you should also, this is probably the earliest I've ever done this, remember to like and subscribe and all that other bullshit. You're not going to have ding bells and fucking little things on the bottom of the screen with subscribe and all this bullshit.
Are you okay, Dave? The fact that you said that early?
I want to get it out of the way, I think, because I'm tired of people coming on Tuesday nights. The floating head and his cuntiness. He's got a kid and he doesn't fucking worry about the kid. Floating head, hey, worry about your kid. Stop smoking your product. That'd be fucking helpful. I mean, I know you're like 8 feet tall and you're up in the clouds already, but let's get serious here for a minute. Peg, you're it. Fucking cunts. Sports car dad, that's another one that can go fucking play an acid.
Play an acid, that's a new one. I like that. I'll have to remember that.
Fucking loser. I'm not a fucking twat waffle cunt.
Hey.
And again, the perfect episode to talk about all these fucking dickheads.
Twat waffle is my word, man.
Well, snatch basket fucking.
Snatch cunt. That's an IRP term we can use.
Just fucking losers. Fucking losers.
When he showed a chart of Mario today, I about lost it. I'm like, you're like hockey on this, and then he shows the Blades of Steel video game, and then he shows Mario Lemieux, greatest hockey player ever. No kidding. Thank you. I haven't been able to say that on the IRP for the last 15 years. Thank you. Thank you for making my cards go up in price. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because a bunch of deadheads are going to be like, Mario Lemieux. The 6 cards that they got on Card Ladder, or whatever it's called, it's like, it's all his rookies. So just stick with them then. Because all I want to do is get another PSA 8 of Tops and maybe a PSA 7 OPG, and then I'll be good. Then you could take them to the moon, and then they'll crash down because you can't sell them because nobody's in the hockey market unless you go to Toronto to sell them to the expo. And they don't want you up there because you've seen what happened to the great curator and his other buddy. They've been excommunicated from coming to Canada.
Because discommunicated. Is there really much difference?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just like, come on, guys. Then he pulled his stuff with what's his name, Daps, with the pack rips, and We gave everybody the cards back because we didn't think it was fair. Mother of Mary. Or Mother Mary. Or
Or
maybe
mother
not Mary had
fucker.
a mother. Mary had a little lamb. But my point is this. Quit being a bunch of morons. For the love of God. Our hobby has enough. It's just like I said last week, we're in the Matrix and we're supposed to reset by now. Zion should have fallen. But no, we got to keep pumping it up. Pump, 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 pump.
Pump, pump, pump it up. Oh, sorry.
Like a friggin' Shaquille O'Neal shoe from 1990. What is that, about 1996 or so? Come on, guys.
And Dad, if you're watching, change the station.
Dad
may be
lost
one
the
of the-
link.
Oh,
So
darn.
I was like, good time to lose it. He goes, I want to watch the Ghost episode. I said, no, you don't. I said, I cussed twice. He goes, was it about the dog? And he goes, what did you exactly say, young man? And I'm like, I told him. And he's like, I'll allow it.
Maybe
Well,
tonight I won't be-
a little bit late to allow it. It's already happened, right?
Speaking of that Matrix, can't go back.
Exactly.
Yeah, talking
Yeah.
about all these fuckheads.
I did like the placeholder. Having Doofy right there front and center. You are creative in so many ways, Dave. There's so many like underlying meanings in some of your creations as of late. I give you mad props, sir.
And again, that's what little sleep trying to do how much shit at work now. It feels like midsummer already there. And softball winding down last week or so of it, depending on what they can do in the playoffs. Because they start next Tuesday, so this will be another thing. Next, and again, I don't know how playoffs work. I don't know if it's like boom, 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 day by day. So just be cognizant of there's not a placeholder up. I got to ask the coach at some point, like, well, what do we got for schedule if we win a game or two? So, and I know Naomi has the band director, the new guy, a fucking moron. Again, just everywhere, window lickers, no matter what iteration of life you fucking stumble into.
Yeah, I have a few of those at work.
Oh, I've literally got the short bus just fucking crashes every day into work. And people get off, and it's either the AARP crowd or the short bus crowd. I mean, or guess what? It's a mix of both. And you're like, what a treat.
Yeah, it's
People that look like they're best friends with Francis Scott Key or fucking people that are rooming with Corky and life goes on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? What in the actual fuck is going on?
my boss. And so it was a scheduled call. It was me and another supervisor and our boss talking about something that somebody wanted. And we're like, this is getting ridiculous. Freaking, it's supposed to be a give and take, and all they do is take. And my boss's favorite comment, and she's planning on actually getting a shirt made. And I'm debating on whether or not to tell her to send me one. Just because her saying is, go fuck your hat. Now, how in the world that came up or she came up with that, but it never fails. Having a conversation and we're kind of bitching about something because of somebody wanting something or what somebody did or didn't do or whatever. And she always goes and resorts. You know what? I'm ready to tell these people just, you know what? Go fuck your hat. And I'm like, where in the world did that freaking come from? She's like, Steven, I have no fucking idea. She's like, it just sounded good one day and it stuck. So that's my go-to for now.
I still go with my "You Should Have Been Swallowed." That's the one that always. I mean, it's like a winner, an absolute winner. Oh, Paul, I want to thank you too for your fucking fires up in Canada, because now you can't see the sun clearly up in northern Minnesota. We just got this like, it's cool looking. I mean, it's like a reddish, pinkish haze. So when the sun goes down, it looks like I don't know if that's Red Dawn or one of those old like 80s type movies that sun comes up on the horizon, just pure like red. Like that's what it looks like. So thanks, Paul. You gave us maple syrup, the Oilers failing again, and forest fires. So but stay safe up there. I know you're somewhere way up that ways.
Go Stars.
Yeah, go Stars.
Just fuck you, Dave. Just because none of your teams have progressed.
I know. Believe me, I'm well aware of this.
I tell you what, though, freaking, what was it? Last game, not the one last night. The one, what was that? Saturday, I guess. Freaking in Dallas loses like 7-3 or some shit. I'm going, what in the actual fuck? I'm going, okay. This may not be looking too good. And I knew they played last night, and I didn't watch it. So I always check scores. I checked the Rangers, who got their asses stomped by the Braves like 11-0. That was like fantastic. And I'm like, oh shit, game 7 was last night. So I'm like, NHL scores. And I saw the final and I'm like, oh, they fucking pulled it out. Look at them go. Now, of course, who do they play? Vegas, yet again. So, yeah. If they can take it to 7 games, to me, that's a win.
Jason Robertson would show up. That would be a win.
Well, I can't argue against that.
But not done shit.
Fucking Pavelski having what, 11 goals that series? I think.
Absolutely insane.
Freaking one game he had 4. It's like you were in the right place at the right time every single time.
Well, that and the game he had 4, I think they lost.
No, I think they ended up winning that game. No, you're right. They lost in overtime, I think.
Because I thought that was game 1 or game maybe 2.
They all ran together just because there was quite a few high-scoring games. But I'll take the win. I didn't like that it went to 7 games. But, you know, it is playoff hockey. And anything can happen.
That's what Gary Bettman wants. 7 games.
Yep.
You know, all it takes is a random bounce left or a redirect right, and you know
that the 7-game series. I don't remember many going until he showed up. I just don't remember the series going that deep. I don't know if I'm just was young and couldn't remember right, or it seems like in every sport it's 7 games. Maximum money taking.
Oh, because I mean, what, Florida 4 games to 1. Las Vegas was 4 games to 1. Stars and Seattle went 7 games, and whoever else was playing went 7 games, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd have just liked to have been in the dance. I can't believe the Caps nor the Penguins made it to the dance.
Yeah, well,
I can't believe Boston.
No.
That was on paper. They're so good. They even brought in Bert, nephew Tyler there at the end, and he seemed to be clicking on all cylinders. And well, he's a free agent now, so if Dylan Larkin has his way, he'll be back in a Red Wings uniform because he was none too happy that let's sign me to a 5-year contract. Then my best friend gets axed the next day. So I don't know if they did it to clear cap space until next year or what they did, but rumor is he's coming back. But they kind of did him dirty here because of the whole he wasn't vaccinated thing. And a lot of people criticized him. It's his business, not yours. And it's just like, let the guy go. And I mean, they even insulted him. They said, think about your child and all this stuff. I'm like, why would you even bring that up about something like that? That he just had a newborn baby and you're going to get into that with him? Come on, guys. Let it go. It is what it is. Then in the first game of the year, he scores a hat trick, I think. And then they were all on him like, he's the future of the Red Wings. And then, it's like everything was okay. But then you spent months criticizing him. It's just like, I like the kid. I liked his uncle. Not always, but I thought his uncle was a solid player. Not to make stand up as guys due to several incidents that we won't discuss. But when he was with the Wings, he always gave a solid performance for us. So, and that's the one guy I collect that I was sad to see him go because he was like the only Red Wing that I really was into in the last couple of years. I just like the flow, the missing tooth. It was just, he was like the epitome of hockey. He was like a character from Shoresy. It was just like perfection. And he never, huh?
It wasn't the setup?
No, in this case it wasn't.
Okay, I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, the setup, since the setup's all the same for the non-goaltenders, it wasn't the setup. Unless you count the flow and the missing tooth as the setup. But I think those are more features of said human than the actual setup. But I digress.
You're getting awful deep in that explanation there, Vinny.
What can I say? I'm Vinny.
You'd have to have a round table to lay everything out to have the setup.
Wow.
This is true.
Speaking of excommunicated. What? Huh?
Change the subject.
Merry Christmas. That seemed to work last time. With Dave his rant.
We'll talk about some window lickers. We'll change the subject. Well, are we going to change the subject?
Yeah, that's on par with the subject. I mean, if we want to, be real here.
Oh, since I know you watch basketball, Oracle, Spurs won the lottery. Number 1 pick. That Victor whatever, Wyamuga or whatever from over in France, Italy, somewhere over there playing. He will be the number 1 pick. I think Charlotte got second, which is one of the rare times they moved up.
Now, is their draft live with the balls and all that stuff?
That was tonight. That was tonight at 7. And I forgot about it completely because they did that. And then I think one of the games, I think it's New York or no, Miami, Boston game 1 is tonight of the Eastern Conference Finals. And that followed up the lottery thing when they did that. And Portland, 3rd, Houston, 4th, Pistons all the way down to 5th. So that dude would have been great for them because they would have had another big, a lengthy big, an athletic big. I mean, they've got Bagley who's coming back. I think they've got Isaiah Stewart. They got Jared Duran. God, I know there's like one other, but that would have been a sort of in that. I don't want to say Giannis, but he has like that ability of Giannis, and we'll just have to see how like as Giannis progressed, because he was again when you always say potential and the ceiling and all that other bullshit. This is the same kid, probably a better skill set, but he's got to put on weight. He is pretty much a beanpole. So, yeah, you're playing some decent talent over there, but this is NBA.
Manute Bol, Sean Bradley beanpole.
No, God, who could I even? It's almost like a Durant, probably about 20 to 30 pounds less than Durant, where it looks when he's doing the moves, it's like holy shit. But you're like, man, if he was just like a little bigger, could take some more of that because you're gonna go in that lane, you're not gonna have free reign. Somebody's gonna just hammer you, and I still think he'll be good. In San Antonio, what a shock! A big is out there, and they get the #1 pick.
Yeah, rigged.
So, and they kept saying that in like the lead up. I'd read articles about like the. So I'm like, God, I don't remember the last time.
Dave, pay attention. Wave and say hi.
Hello.
There you go. Hello.
On,
Yeah, Dave, wave and say hi.
He was making sure he didn't say something else.
yeah.
Out of there.
Well, that's why I made sure I. Hey, Dave,
Bye.
pay attention. Bye.
But yeah, yeah, Dave Robinson, you have Tim Duncan, and now you got this dude. Again, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I haven't heard it enough. I've seen it. Victor, we'll call him Victor W. So,
Victor, who's your mama?
pretty much.
I mean, that seems to work. It's what everybody used to call TJ.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. That wasn't even that tough.
Yeah, it wasn't, but everybody, TJ, who's your mama?
Well,
It's
yeah,
like, come
everybody's
on, man. But then again, I'm trying to think, when was the last time Dallas had a #1 pick?
Roy Tarpley.
Let's see what the old Google says. Last time Dallas Mavericks had the.
They had two, and it was Kidd. A 94 with Hill, Kidd. God, who the hell? I now remember the draft. Or no, that would have been second or third? Glenn Robinson was first.
Let's see. Mark Aguirre, 1981. You telling me that's the only #1 pick?
Wouldn't be a shock. I mean, you think with some of those super lean years, they would have been #1, but that ball did not bounce the correct way. Especially, I think what would have been the 92, 93 team, 93, 94. I mean, they lost like 70 games. I mean, they won like 9.
Yeah, Mark Aguirre was their only #1 pick. Outside of that, they had the #2, which you alluded to, being Jason Kidd. And then it looks like they've had like 4 picks. Jim Jackson in 92 and Jamal Mashburn in 93. Yeah. That's pretty bad. And they had the 5th pick in 2018. And they drafted Trae Young.
That worked out well for him too.
Yeah,
But
they
they
should have
traded
kept
him.
him. Maybe they should have kept him.
Well, they might have a chance to trade for him. Who knows? Because I think this offseason is going to be very busy, since a lot of these whatever contracts you want to call them, the super max or the max or whatever it is, they think they kick in on like July 1st. So I think before July 1st, because again, depending on when the end of the season actually happens, there might be a lot of movement going on. So
I don't follow the NBA offseason and trades. I mean, if it impacts the Mavericks, I kind of pay attention just because, I do like the Mavs.
yeah,
One of the few Texas teams that I root for. But, yeah.
because that I think there's gonna be. I'm guessing. I don't know if I want the Timberwolves to trade Towns away, but in the same sense, because you didn't really have a chance to get all those guys to play together this year. You only had X amount of games because he got hurt fucking like the end of November, right when Gobert came back, and it's like you played like 20 games together, maybe 15, 20 with him, Ant, and Gobert. So a lot of chatter about what's going on, Yannick, about Towns possibly going to New York. So and they've got picks. They've got, I won't say a cachet of young talent, but they've got 3 guys that could be possibly traded. You could trade Derrick Rose in his expiring contract. I think Evan Fournier in his expiring contract. And so to make all of them, because there again, Towns is, I think, big extension kicks in coming up for the next year. So
See,
and
Paul,
so
the reason I don't pay attention to the NBA offseason is because that's what Dave is for. Dave stays on top of all the, I'll call them the bigger names when it comes to offseason trades.
I like the
That
comings
type
and
of
goes.
stuff. That type of stuff. Dave typically sends those in the group chat. So I stay on top of it that way. And to clarify your statement, Sir Paul, the NHL offseason, I pay no attention to. None. The only time I find out about something is if Dave happens to put something, or Vinny put something in our group chat about some either big re-signing or a big trade, some superstar type caliber player moves to another team type situation. Outside of that, I don't pay attention to it. I don't care what you say or what you think. Dialed in is not the right choice of words that I would be using.
As the correct nomenclature.
Yeah, I'm so coy. Yeah. Play it however you want to there, Paul. Whatever makes you feel good, my friend. Whatever makes you happy. So yeah. NBA conference finals. We got NHL conference finals. Baseball's hot and heavy. NFL, at least news is kind of slowing down since the draft. But that'll start picking up again because what is it? June 1st?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's right around the corner. Still some big names out there, quote unquote, on the I won't call it on the chopping block, but on the trading block potential. So
Yeah, Dalvin Cook being one of them.
well, DeAndre Hopkins still being, in the rumor mill. Stephon Diggs was in the rumor mill there for a while because, of course, Trayvon trying to put it out there to come to Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? It's hard to figure shit out these days. Who's going to go where, why,
And
when?
I don't like sports because of that now. It's like literally, if you don't like where you're at, trade me. I want to get. Well, no, you fucking signed a contract. Shut the fuck up. Play. You're making more money than you should ever make. But no, well, you didn't draft who I wanted, or I wanted my friend signed, or sort of love Rodgers going to somewhere else. Fucking send him to Arizona or something like that. If Kyler Murray wasn't there, they needed a quarterback, send him there. Who fucking cares?
What I find interesting, though, is, some of these superstar athletes that have played with the same team for years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And they like it there type situation. They keep getting paid. They keep getting extensions, that type of stuff on their contracts. But why not have more of these contracts with no trade clauses? Force some of these guys to play through instead of you get rid of the no trade clause and then all of a sudden, well, we're doing shitty, or, I'm sucking. I don't like the coach because he called me a pansy ass little whiny bitch. Now I want out. It to me it's almost like the stupid shit that is causing these players to want to get the hell out of Dodge. There's no consistency, there's no loyalty.
Well, I like when they don't have like the trade clauses, because then guess what? You're playing. If you no, I'm signing my contract only if there is. Like I'm guaranteed to play here. Well, you know what? Then there's gonna be language in that contract that says first time you fucking chirp in the press or on social media, we can fine you. We can dock your pay. Because shut the fuck up. And Tom, welcome to the show. John Morant. That would be one that's a very I don't believe he's gonna be playing much next year. That motherfucker's quite possibly, again, in March, I think I said he's jonesing for one of the stupidest people alive. I do believe he has eclipsed a lot of folks. Waving the old gun around again on Instagram. I haven't seen anything to the contrary where it's been proved to be like doctored footage or anything like that. So Adam Silver showed leniency in March. I don't believe leniency is going to be shown for Mr. Morant. If he doesn't get clipped for half the year, if not the full year, I would be shocked. and this isn't one where I believe, yeah, the NF or NHL, NFL, whatever, NBA, PA. I truly don't believe they're going to have much say. So,
so much talent wasted.
oh my God. And I love him. I love him as a player. Watched him at Murray State. So happy he stayed around. But that could be the problem. You go to Murray State, that's in, I think, Kentucky or Tennessee. Go to the Memphis Grizzlies, your homeboys are still around. You're trying to be hood. Again, I said it before. When you're not hood, if this was the 90s, I'd get it. You'd have Pac, you'd have Biggie, you'd have those guys. You'd have Cube, Snoop, Dre, Suge Knight, Puffy. Everybody trying to be hard. Who's out there now trying to be hard? Drake? Come on now. Let's be serious, folks. That's like saying that Daps idiot's gonna fucking lead you down to like a golden path of card righteousness. Tag, you're it. Yeah. And that just it fucks Memphis completely over. That's the worst part. Because I like them. I like what they do. They're not fucking super flashy. Play good defense. Other than Dylan Brooks being just a fucking little cunt. A little bitch. So, yeah, John Morant, that. Very disappointing, certainly. I'd trade John Morant for Jerome Moiso. That'd be better too. I mean, it's. I'm sure the Timberwolves will go trade Cat for John Morant. And as Joe asks this, what other stupid shows around here, what other dickheads are going to talk about this? These three. I'll say mine. I'm the biggest dickhead, but nobody else is going to even touch this subject because we're going to talk about grading. We're going to talk about card ladder and fucking market movers. They're all these losers. Live in their parents' basement, you fucking cunts. I'm not going to talk about all that bullshit that everybody's fucking heard. It's reduce, reuse, recycle. That's all it is. All your fucking canned, the same shit. Nelly and Tim McGraw over and over again. I haven't seen the cover. Martha Stewart's happy with going on there, and fuck it, who cares? Whatever.
Look, I understand what they're doing. Let's face it. Companies, publishers, advertisement, they're trying to find, I'll call it untapped avenues when it comes to certain sort of, I'll say gender specific sort of scenarios. SI, Sports Illustrated, the swimsuit edition, historically has always been, the hottest of the hot type situation. Then, of course, you start seeing female athletes being featured in some of them. The introduction of multiple individuals in body paint gracing the cover and pictorials.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's one of those in which I could give two shits. I mean, Martha Stewart doesn't do anything for me. So to each their own. It's one of those in which they're trying to find ways to bridge gaps.
What if it was B. Arthur?
Same thing. Still doesn't do anything for me. You know, I can't speak for you, Dave, or for Vinny.
What about
you know.
Elizabeth Taylor like 10 years ago?
No, still doesn't do anything for me.
What about Queen Camilla?
No.
I'm just doing names. You never know.
But you look at what they've been doing. So what was it, last year or the year before? They had the first model with a cesarean scar. Like that was a big deal when it came to the swimsuit edition. That was a big deal. You started seeing plus size models in some of them. So they're trying to cater to more. It's a marketing ploy. It's an advertising ploy. If you want to put it into perspective, it's no different than freaking linking up Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, two of the most like different spectrums of the world in commercials and all sorts of stuff. All they're doing is trying to bridge additional demographics and try and find ways to increase revenue. And they want to be like some of the, I won't say to be the first to try and do something like that, but at the end of the day, props to Martha Stewart for being the cover model. I think it's a cool kind of thing. But at the same time, if you understand what a lot of companies are doing, it's marketing.
Oh yeah.
Trying to get more people to read the magazine. Let's face it. So, soapbox retract.
Now, if you had Roseanne Barr and Melissa McCarthy on there, I'd rather see Martha Stewart than those two.
I can't argue against that. I mean,
nor should you.
Well,
that would be
I
the
couldn't.
the old school cover where you can fold it out not once, not twice, but thrice to get both of them on there. And again, me being a very plus-sized person, when I walk in the doors that open like such, I have to wait for them to fully go to the edge so I can squeeze through there. And I've always got my fanny pack full of lard at the helm just in case I've got to slather up my sides.
And Scott, it's no different though. Short memory.
Yep.
A lot of people fail to remember that she served time in prison for freaking insider trading. I mean, it's not a hellacious crime. I should say it's not a heinous crime. It's, to me, it's lower than low, but it's not like she killed somebody. Not saying it makes it any better, but short memory. It's the same thing in freaking our hobby verse that we live in. Short memory. People forget some of the shady shit that some of these people have done and continue to do, and it still becomes acceptable. The difference is Martha Stewart served her time. Like, I'll say a good human should. She served her time. She paid the price. But she's still a big name.
Mm-hmm.
She's still worth millions. So even with probably the fines that were levied and some of the money she probably had to pay and all this other kind of garbage, she's not as worth as much as what she was. But she's still a face. She's still a name. She's still big when you think about it. Everybody knows who fucking Martha Stewart is.
And I think she's made a pretty good comeback too. From all that, you thought she'd be dead in the water. And
Agreed. So I get what they're trying to do. I think it's smart in the big scheme of things. I think we're going to see a lot more of it. A lot more of it. And I don't disagree, Vinny. It's one of those who gives a shit, like whoop-de-doo. But in the scheme of things, when you look at a lot of the other negativity that's going on in the news, at least there is some sort of, I don't want to call it positivity, but it is something different. It's a little lighthearted. It's not all the fucked up shit that's been going on, the fucking mass shootings and everything else. It's a little bit more lighthearted. And props to SI for seeing what happens.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna fucking go down and become, what was it, Inside Sport magazine. They're still gonna be around. They're gonna have their fucking online presence and whatnot. But yeah, it's, if that's something that's causing controversy, it's because everybody in the country, that's all they want to find with everything is controversy over something. Who gives a fuck?
Now, could it impact some subscribers to the magazine? Potentially. Every big change, and I'll call this a big change because it's a risk. It is a huge risk. Are they going to lose some subscriber base? Probably. Is it because it's, a 60-plus-year-old woman on the cover who's not chiseled and freaking tan or whatever? Or is it because it's her and the fact that she is an ex-convict? I don't know. Or a combination of both. But at the end of the day, it's not hurting anything.
No, not at all.
It's interesting that it's her. I mean, that's not somebody that I'll draw a blank. It's not like I can think of somebody right now. But, that is not somebody, if you heard that Sports Illustrated was going to put as their cover model
Cindy Crawford, somebody like that.
Somebody in that age, you're thinking, okay, is Cindy going to make a comeback and grace the cover type situation? Or, maybe Suzanne Summers. When you think of like Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, you're thinking something along those lines. And then you get a Martha Stewart and you're like, okay.
Oh, I can think of the black one. I can't think of her.
Tyra Banks.
Yeah. Or Heidi Klum or somebody of like
Naomi Campbell, any of the older ones that, graced the cover back in the 80s and the 90s. So it's like
Denise Richards and that's the other one. I can see them from back in the day.
Kathy Ireland.
Yeah,
Kathy Ireland would have been. Elle McPherson would have been another one. All of them now in their 50s and 60s. But
yeah,
interesting choice.
If you would have had a whole thing of them, again, it wouldn't matter. That's the thing. That used to be for like, I know, like the 13-year-old kid and probably like the 38, 42-year-old dad. That was like, oh wow, that's we gotta hide this issue because this is. And again, it wasn't anything like fucking racy. Yeah, you did that, and people were like, oh my god, she doesn't have a top on. Well, sitting there, I'm like, fucking, it's a Sportflix card. You could see her playing with her nipples. I mean,
yep. Oh my god, you actually see ass. What?
Yeah.
oh, side boob, side boob, side boob.
God. And that's on the cover? Oh, this is pornography. No, it's not. Shut up. I mean, this isn't fucking 1920 or fucking Victorian age, and your underpants bloomers go down to your fucking ankles. I mean, Jesus Christ. Go back in your cave.
Please and thank you.
Yes.
So thank you, Joe, for the question. That was definitely an unexpected one.
DC was around, he would not have that on his bingo card. He would be fucking.
Nobody would have.
But since
Everybody-
he's the unofficial official bingo card creator, that would have. I don't even think that would have slipped through the cracks.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Somebody went from being in the woodwork to announcing their presence.
Somebody went from lying in the weeds to getting caught. But those bushes are rustling and there's no wind outside. What the fuck's going on back there?
Yeah, the only difference
God
is
damn
the only side boob you would get here is if Bob Lewis was here. And you wouldn't get straight side boob. You'd get man boob. That's about the only boob you're gonna get. Okay, well maybe not. We are 3 boobs, maybe. I don't know.
You could call us Total Recall. Three boobs? Come on now.
Yes, I knew where you
I was
were
gonna
going
say,
with that.
I'm just waiting for some nodding, like, oh, that. At least that was a good throwback. I mean,
What
I don't
was
have
the-
many movie throwbacks, but I'm like, I do
What was the
remember
other-
that one.
What was the other movie? But shit. Paul. The movie Paul. How can I forget that? We have Paul. Anybody seen the movie Paul? Please tell me somebody has seen it.
I don't even know what the fuck that's about. You got
Okay.
go through a synopsis.
So, and for the life of me, I can't remember. It's 2 English guys who were like the main actors, and then Paul, who's an alien. You've got Sigourney Weaver and Jason Bateman. But the synopsis is 2 English guys come over to America. They rent an RV, all because they wanted to go through all the various extraterrestrial sites in the U.S. and eventually end up at like Comic-Con. And they end up picking up Paul, who's an escaped alien, and they go on a load of freaking this and that. Well, one of them is a writer and one of them is an illustrator, and one of them wants to like write comics. Was the initial thing. Well, one of them being an illustrator ended up one of the pictures that he drew just out of random was a freaking chick with 3 boobs. And at it's not the very end, but he ends up like throwing Paul, the alien, ends up throwing like the illustration book to one of his friends on the spaceship, and he's thumbing through it, and he starts speaking his alien language, and then in subtitles it's like, "What, 3 boobs?" So that's another 3 boob reference for you. It's kind of a cheesy movie, but it's not.
It didn't sound that way with the way you described it.
It's not horrible. It's got some fun parts in it.
Like 3 boobs.
Yeah, but it's, at least in Total Recall, it's, you see 3 boobs.
This is true.
What was the other? Is it Shallow Hal? His best friend, his girlfriend has 3 boobs,
Could
and you
be.
see it at the end.
I was gonna say I haven't seen that.
No, it's shit. It's got Ashton Kutcher and God,
Dude, where's my car?
no, it's not that one. There is no 3 boobs. You just got big boobs and big panties. Jessica Alba. Fuck. No, it's not Ashton Kutcher either. It's Ryan Reynolds. Oh fuck! What the hell is the damn name of that movie?
Is that if they date him? No, that's not that movie.
Yes, yes. If they have sex with him, they get married.
Yeah.
It's that movie.
That's,
What the fuck is the name of that damn movie?
Good Luck, Chuck.
Yes, there you go.
It's not Ryan Reynolds. It's what's his face? Dane Cook.
They all look the fucking same.
That's what threw me off when you said that. I was like, that's not Ryan Reynolds in that movie. It's Dane Cook.
They all look the same.
And
Potato, potato.
3 boobs. She came in late to the conversation, so you wanna.
But no, his friend is a plastic surgeon, and he ended up like chick comes in to get reconstructive surgery, and he's like, "No, you're perfect." And at the very end, she has 3 boobs. Polymastia or something of that ilk is the terminology. More than one mammary.
Well, at least we won't be accused of trimming cards and talking about the likes.
Yeah.
No, we're hyper focused on 3 boobs.
And on one comment about a better half. Working well.
See, Dave gives 1, I give 2 others.
I got nothing.
What else is new?
This is true. I offer nothing. Except my Google searches and
You have a purpose. You have a purpose.
a small one at that. But
No, don't do that. You serve it well, and you have your moments of extensive diatribes, which we all enjoy. And you went back on mute, so we can't hear a fucking word you're saying.
the brilliance. Don't forget the brilliance.
Okay, we're not going that far. See, I was giving you props. I was being nice, and you had to blow it. Why did you go and do that?
Because I'm Benny.
All right, you're going in timeout.
Bye, everybody.
Perfect timing. Nicely done, sir. I was on point with the clicking, so that worked out perfect.
At least we're in sync. Bye, bye, bye. Or was that New Kids on the Block? Anyhow.
No, what I could tell you bye was not New Kids on the Block, but
Yeah.
It was in sync. I know. My children listen to them. That and the Backstreet Boys.
better you than me.
And the better half lows the New Kids on the Block. For reasons.
For reasons.
For reasons.
Which means we're not going to get any details, obviously, which makes things interesting. Like I can go, like my mind can wander multiple different.
A girl that was dating her brother put that poster over her poster of I don't know if it was a Corvette or a Ferrari or something. And yeah, it was a Porsche. Okay. And well, there was a sacrifice to the New Kids on the Block that evening.
Okay.
There was more than one sacrifice.
More than one.
There was a whole wall of sacrifice.
Just walls?
Just her shit on my walls.
Okay.
All of it.
I was just trying to see how far this went.
Oh, you know me well enough, Steve, to know I don't stop halfway.
Well, I was leaning towards, was there a human sacrifice in the process too? I mean,
No, I did let her live, but I took a piece of tape all the way down the center of my room and I told her if she crossed it, I was going to beat her to death.
okay, so potential future human sacrifice. Okay.
The girl's still around. I met her. I can see
Oh.
why they drew the line. She's a little out there.
Allegedly, by the way. To your
No,
comment
it's
earlier,
bad.
better half.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Hashtag allegedly.
No, it's bad.
Hashtag allegedly. Mute button.
Use the mute button. We ensure that we do not have things that can incriminate us later. Although we may miss some on occasion.
Possibly.
Potentially.
Say it again.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Right.
She's going to bed early. Earlier.
I will go listen to you guys in the bedroom.
Yay! I'll make sure I stay nice.
Yeah, please. Dave,
Say it again.
I said, Dave, behave.
I always do.
You're an angel.
Oh my god, I need to be wearing my galoshes because the shit just got real deep.
Steve, quit causing trouble.
Me?
Yes, always.
I do not cause any trouble. This guy I'm about to bring on the screen, this guy fucking causes trouble.
Not
This
really.
guy. It's all his fault.
Michael does nothing. That is like the worst example. If that was Bob Lewis, maybe.
Hey,
But not Michael.
don't ruin my opportunity to razz Michael for something that I can't razz Michael for.
Exactly. It's like
Okay.
anybody else, but Michael, come on.
How we doing, guys?
It's been an interesting episode to say the least.
Good. Good.
You came in and out in a really good opportune time, and maybe we can circle back to the actual topic at hand because we touched on it earlier, and we went like this way and kind of slowly curved back into it, and then we went fucking all the way over here.
Okay.
Way over there.
But then again, that's typical. So first, I'd like to say, how you doing, by the way?
Good, bad, tired, all of it. It was a long day at work. It is what it is. But on the bright side, I finished my OSHA 30 today. It was great to get that done. That was 30 real hours of life just gone. Brutal.
Yeah, but you got to do it.
Yep, got it done. Scored 95 on the test, so good enough.
Nicely done.
Yeah. But I wish this was tomorrow, and then I'd have cards to show.
That national fund for Michael's just taking a nosedive.
Huh?
I said your national fund, like mine, is just taking a nosedive.
Oh, yeah. Dave knows what I got coming in tomorrow. And that's I prefaced it by saying, I'm done spending until Chicago. And that likely won't be the case, but I'm hopeful.
I just let it ride because
Yeah, it is what it is. I had an opportunity that I couldn't pass up to get a ridiculous card for my collection, and it's supposed to be delivered FedEx tomorrow. So
FedEx, we're talking the big times there.
yeah, this guy, he only ships FedEx and UPS. He doesn't mess with the postal service.
So I gotta ask, was
What's
this an off eBay thing because it didn't go through authentication?
Correct.
Gotcha.
It was on eBay, but then I just do what I do and I search the username on Instagram.
Look at you.
Yeah. And majority of the time,
Allegedly.
huh?
I said we just throw that in there for purposes.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Oh, I never messaged on eBay. I put it on my watch list, but I never contacted him. I went directly through Instagram. And yeah. The guy's got an absolutely insane collection, and I was happy to get this one from him.
Packers or
Yep.
okay.
No, it is a Packers card. He's not a Packers collector.
Well, no, that's what I would.
Yeah.
Because your collection.
I'm broadening my
Expands.
horizons.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. Getting this Packer card killed the hockey cards I was trying to go after. Yeah. Now this guy specifically collects flawless.
Okay. So Reggie White.
No.
Oh.
No, if it was Reggie White, it would be FedEx overnight. I'm not that wealthy.
And then you wouldn't be going to national.
You're not wrong. I just video chat in there.
Yeah. I let something go last night, and I'm kind of glad because originally I was considering bidding. It ended up going for $138, which was like $50 higher than the last one that sold, which was only, I think, roughly a month ago.
Wow.
Topps Finest X Fractor number to 20. Beautiful card. I need it.
Yeah.
But going for a, $100.
What
over
year is it?
$138. 02.
Circle
02.
around the player in the background.
No, it's
2002, I think. Right?
it's 02. Yep.
Okay.
I've got McCown.
Oh, this is 04. Never mind.
McCown.
That's not going to help. Yeah, I don't have a regular base card to show you.
Nah, it's okay. Luckily, I got a phone sitting right next to me.
It's a beautiful card. Like I said, I think the last one sold for $80, but this one ended up for $138. And then somebody posted a 101 from Honors, encased, hand numbered 101.
Mm-hmm.
They took an offer. I didn't go bother to look, but it was listed for like $550. Buy it now, best offer. So I'm gonna assume that most likely, because of the initial price point, it had to have gone between $325 and $375 at the lowest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what in the actual fuck is going on? Like, over the last 3 months, I want to say. And that's kind of why I'm glad I've let stuff go, because that's keeping my fundage intact for national. But there is like something's like circulating as it relates to TD somewhere, and I'm just not aware of it.
Was that the card?
That's the Honors 101. Yep.
Yeah, the Honors. It sold for $350.
Okay. See,
It
I
listed
wasn't
at listed at $550. Somebody got for $350.
And
Yeah,
there
that-
again, I'd rather have the card that somebody got for Christmas at the price point that was at than that one. 10 times out of 10.
Well, yeah, and look, this card sold right below it. Flawless out of 3 on card auto, $89.
Yep.
Why is an Honors card hand numbered 101 by a Panini employee worth more than cost 3 times more than that?
Yep.
Makes no damn sense. That's why I cannot get on board with honors as being a product of anything other than they were damage replacement cards that they just encased and sold.
Well, not to mention, when I think of honors, I think of
Playoff honors back in the day.
Yes, back in the day, what we would consider mid-end, because anywhere between 80 and $100 a hobby box for 3 to 4 hits was mid-end. That's what I think of honors. And they've revamped it to where it's a 1 encased card per pack, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
You can't go from I'll now call a cheap product, which was pretty much all jersey cards. That's usually what you got for your hits.
Yeah.
To a 1 per pack on card autograph encased of varying hand numbering.
Yep.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either. I'm with Joey. I hope that I will never own an honors card, but there's probably certain ones out there that if they were to actually surface, I might be tempted to buy one. And that would probably be along the lines of like a Prism Gold, just because they never had an autograph of that. But I'm not paying crazy money for them. I'll give $100 for one, but that, I mean, and that seems to be because Clay was in this year's honors. He has quite a few cards in there, and mostly of what I've seen is 2013 and 2017 Prism cards have been what in there, but some numbered to 3, 4, 101s, but none of them have I even considered buying.
Gotcha. Yeah, that I was, because I don't do player worn stuff.
Same.
Personally, I don't do it, but I'm not going to turn down a gift because it does, it's a gift. I appreciate it, and it's going to be added to the collection, and it's going to be a mark on the checklist, right?
Yep.
Panini 1 Capstone 101 of TD sold recently as well. One of them.
Those capstones are some of my favorite cards out
Beautiful
there.
card. Beautiful card. NFL logo shield, a Nike logo, beautiful card. But player worn.
Yeah.
$780. I'm going, I don't have it in my hand anymore because it's like, what do you think I'm going to go pull out? I'm going to go pull out my Leaf Limited Quad Patch Auto 101 and be like, this?
Yeah.
Or this that's freaking fake shit as far as I'm concerned.
It's just a retail jersey cut up and put in a card.
So it's like that's the shit I don't understand. I've
had to slap my hand a couple times because I've almost bought Aaron Jones capstone cards. And my mind of a way to justify buying the player worn is he literally doesn't have a game used option. He's never had any game used cards. Just like people that collect Mahomes. Mahomes does not have any game used cards. Because I think I don't even remember recently of them putting pylons or footballs or anything from the Super Bowls in their promo packs.
No, not for a while.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the last time. Maybe when Brady won with the Buccaneers was maybe the last time I saw it. But yeah, there a lot of the superstars there in the game right now don't have game use stuff.
No. Pretty much anyone from 16, 17 on?
Pretty much. Yeah. That's why I was super pumped about the card that I bought that's coming in. That was from 2020 Flawless, and it was game worn. And it's a little sneaky because he has game worn patch auto and immaculate from either 20 or 21 as well.
Okay.
The horizontal with the 3 little square relics, autographs. There's one of those of him listed right now with game using him, but it's 1,500 or best offer, which is insane. A card that was on my watch list though that got hit either today or yesterday, the Aaron Rodgers impeccable master strokes out of 10 was listed for 700, and the one recently sold for 6 something on bids. They accepted $500. I was shocked by that because I almost offered it that myself a few days ago. I was like, they're not going to take 500, and I don't, because there's a $600 plus comp recently. So I didn't even think to offer 500, and when it sold, I was like, well, damn.
Well, no, that's always the thing too. You're better off just to send the offer again. They say fuck you. They say fuck you. What do you do?
Yeah.
And if they weren't looking to get rid of it, that's the thing. It's like, okay, they're looking to get rid of it in the news, whatever.
Yeah.
If you weren't looking to get rid of it, you'd be like, okay, fuck, I'm going to wait till the season, wait till at least training camp starts and be like, oh, not well listed. There's a little more buzz, but right now there's a ton of buzz around them. So list it now. 500 seems low.
It does. I was shocked because I've seen a few of the sales of that card, probably 3 or 4 of them. None of them have been in the 5s.
No.
They didn't have that much into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that helps a lot too when you get big dealers that can go and buy showcases or somebody's whole table. They can take a little bit less if they want to, or they can squeeze every nickel out of it like a lot of them do because they can afford to wait to find the one person willing to pay the full money.
Yeah.
Roth 101, always take a profit. Any profit's a good profit.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sometimes.
Sure.
In actuality, it's better to take a loss on something.
I think he says that too.
Business 101.
Stuff.
Business 101. If you can sell something at a loss, you at least get money coming in. And from an inventory perspective, if it's gone, you don't pay taxes on it. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could take that money, it might have been a little bit of loss, but you can take the money you just made off of that and invest it in something else that could be better.
This was just a Roth Cards episode. We just had them all summarized in like 2.5 seconds.
Also, in the link below, you can buy me coffee.
Wawa coffee.
The coffee that you don't drink, Dave?
Yeah.
Sorry.
100% true.
Well, that's why I said it.
Actually, I think I got links to donate coffee.
To pour on him? Because again, it looks like he's never taken a shower or bathed or shaved or. Again, I'm not the pillar of shaving perfection, but at the same time, doesn't look like I just went to some fucking barber shop, picked up the hair off the floor, that's super glue and taped it in my fucking face.
We're just a bunch of haters.
And we at least know you take a shower because there's times quite frequently in which you've just gotten out of the shower right before we start a show, so your hair's still wet.
Plus, there's YouTube footage of him in the shower.
This is true.
There is that.
This is true.
Yeah, if you want to go back in the archives and really dig up the doldrums, that's out there.
There's a ton of shit out there. That is for sure. So, Michael.
Yes.
Not sure if you paid attention to the placeholder to know what the episode this week is about, but it's all about the window lickers when it comes to national. Anything from your perspective, since we're almost right around the corner, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Anything that you're concerned or worried about specifically as it pertains to the national?
I'm more concerned with not being able to get to the tables that I want to get to because they're going to be 3, 4, 5 people deep with Pelican cases and daddy's money. And they're just going to be talking like a bunch of morons.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Not anything that we brought up, like anything specifically, but that's definitely something. Since I'm shopping not for myself, I'm shopping for others, and it would definitely prove to be difficult if you stumble across what you think is a decent table that contains potential cards that you may be wanting to shop for. If you can't get to the fucking table, you can't end up, of course, engrossed in conversation to try and work out a deal either.
And you'll get the people that just don't have social skills that you'll be in the middle of talking and they're just reaching over you or yelling over you, trying to get the dealer's attention. I think there will be a lot of that as well.
There will be a lot of shut the fuck up and wait your fucking turn.
You beat me to it, David.
Yep.
I will say, learn some fucking manners, you cunt.
Yeah.
Mine's not quite that bad. It'd be like, hey,
That's-
Jagov.
C's gonna have like the fucking stove runway fucking headphones on.
I'll just make sure to have some fried chicken farts ready for them. Clear me an area.
Okay, so we got Michael with fried chicken farts. We got Dave with deviled egg farts.
Oh, there you go. We're on the same wavelength.
Believe me, I'm gonna make sure, and it won't be any surprises. It won't be like,
where did that come from?
no, it'll be you'll fucking hear it and bam. It won't be Emerald, but you'll fucking smell it as quick as he does the bam thing. It's and if people sit there, oh, that's disgusting. Fuck you. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
So note to self, when that happens, make sure it's at a decent table and you call other people over so we all get a chance to look at the table too.
You clear them out, we'll wrap them up.
We'll come with some nose plugs just to play it safe.
You'll have all your fucking like the E98 or whatever fucking
All
mask
the N95s.
come through there. That was a close one. What's over here? I'll just be sitting there and like,
I'm just going to assume everybody that's wearing a mask at this thing is trying to steal.
yes.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Always possible. Yeah. Anybody want to throw an over under for how many people get arrested in this year's national?
At the show?
At the show.
I'll do it closer to the show if there's like more shenanigans that like build up over the summer.
Yeah.
Depending where the hobby is, the heartbeat of the hobby.
Oh. The vibe of the hobby. It's all about the vibes.
Oh,
Fucking crooked bastard.
We
Sorry.
better not cause any drama, fellas.
it's not content.
No, we're going to be creating content, not drama.
We're such pricks.
Are we? I mean, says who? I don't think anybody who follows us, well, they may say it outside of conversation, but we've never
I'm
been
proud of it, dang it.
We've never been called pricks in the chat. So,
Yeah.
so last time Chicago, when was that?
2 years? 2 years ago,
I was gonna
maybe?
say, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, Joey would have went in 21. 19 was the last time I was there.
And 20 was a no-go.
So Joey saw 2 personally. So we'll the number is we'll go with 4. Who
No.
wants the over? Who wants the under?
You got to go
I'll
3.5.
I was gonna
You gotta go-
say, yeah, I would say under 4.
Under 4.
Yeah,
So what do you do 3.5? Because that you never have
a round number.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always a
Bonus.
half.
Okay, 3 7/8.
Okay.
That might be some of the Yannick, him sharing some of the special posts on Instagram. Because those people might count as like 7/8 of a person or less. It's just like
I don't know.
the compact, tiny, can fit into like a duffel bag. Because remember who was with Ghetto Boys and Scarface? They had the little dude, like the mine's playing tricks on me, the little dude running around in the video. And nobody's gonna know because nobody watched rap in the early '90s.
No.
Fucking crickets.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna bring and how I'm gonna bring it, as far as card wise. Just because we're gonna be staying so far away from the venue, I can't just walk out of the show, walk across the street to the hotel, take stuff back to the room, or go get stuff from the room.
Are you talking about like stuff for people? Or are you talking trade bait?
No. I mean, yeah, my own stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, stuff for other people. I'll just put in my pocket.
Bucket.
But I know one night I'll have to track down Michael Shane. He always requests that I bring. Before, he always requests that I brought all my autos and all my 101s in my clay collection. I'm not going to be doing that this year.
Reach out to them beforehand, be like, hey, give me something you want to see this year, but don't say.
Well, I guess the majority of it, almost all of it, fits in that one case now. The only thing that doesn't is like my big old stacks of the rainbow cards from the Topps Chrome and stuff like that, and probably maybe a dozen of the lower end autos that don't fit in the case.
Yeah, that's Dave.
I shrunk it down considerably.
Dave, Vinny, Michael, for the three of you. Since I'm shipping all my shit prior, since I'm flying, I'm shipping it to Vinny.
Okay.
So it's there to then make sure it gets thrown in the car when we drive. And it's of course I'm taking some of the stuff for maybe some chasing to hits type stuff, and then just the random gift shit that I'm taking. But if there's any specific TD cards that you want to see, start telling me now so I can start pulling the shit out and set aside. So you guys, if you want to see them in person, I'll bring them. I'll throw them in the box and I'll include them in the shipping stuff.
Nope. Because I don't want to see you take that chance of shipping it.
No, I wouldn't want to do it.
Listen though.
Nope.
Listen. I will ship them. I'm shipping stuff UPS. I'm not shipping it USPS.
I don't care if you're shipping it fucking Brink Security.
Yeah, I don't.
And it will be insured.
I'm glad.
No, that don't matter.
I don't care if you've got fucking like Mennonites in like a funeral procession up there. I don't care. I know for my stuff, I would be fucking freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
And again, it's Josh fucking Johnson.
Yeah,
but
you're driving. You're driving, so there is no
I'm just
concern.
saying, any time. That's why if there's some sort of decent deal on like the PSA slabbing, I wouldn't mind doing a few cards. I wouldn't have to do all of them. I'd want a select few, and I'd bring them. But it's not like I hate bringing that stuff because I just get so fucking nervous. Okay, What if I've seen FedEx trucks get fucking shit canned on the freeway, burn. I've seen fucking planes go down, crash. I mean, people get rear-ended if they're bringing just like their van or their car or whatever it is. It doesn't help that I watch all those videos and shit, but at the same time, it's like, man,
Yeah,
unless it's direly necessary that I have to bring something somewhere. It's either going to sit right next to me, and if it's fucking destroyed, I'm dying with it.
yeah.
And that's one of the worst things to say about fucking cards. But again, the time, the effort, I'd say the memories are in there too. But I mean, just the resources that you put into collecting all that shit. I always, and that's me. I get so goddamn nervous. I know if people are like, bring down your Josh Johnson collection, no.
Yeah. If I go to Iowa or if I go out of town for a bowling tournament where I'm going to be staying somewhere overnight, even if it's just for one night, I load up my Clay Matthews collection and I take it to my mom's house. Because I don't want anybody breaking into my house and stealing it. I don't care if they steal everything fucking else. If somebody were to steal that collection,
It's irreplaceable.
I wouldn't recover.
It's irreplaceable.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, when you even though just when you look at the 101s for yours and Dave's and mine, I think I'm getting close to 50. I know you have more, and I know Dave has a lot more. But just those alone, although most of us remember what we paid for a lot of them, that doesn't replace it.
No.
They are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, 100%.
I'm already having to ship some cards anyways. That's
And
the reason why I said something, because if Bob ends up dropping stuff at PSA, I'm going to piggyback off of him.
Mm-hmm.
Or Dave, if you end up taking some, I'll piggyback off of you. So now these cards couldn't be replaced, but would I want to replace them?
Yeah, if I were to mail my Superfractor rookie card off to get graded, if I was mailed off to get graded, something happened and it got lost, I would sell every other fucking card I own and be done.
Yeah, I could definitely see how that could cause you to basically say
I'd be finished with the hobby. And I wouldn't think twice about it.
No.
Yeah, I could understand. Like that one.
And it's not even my favorite card.
That's one you would take with you and hand to somebody at PSA in order to get.
And that's kind of my plan whenever I go to Chicago, is that I would like. I don't know if I want to go with PSA or if I want to go with BGS, because I would like to get all of the supers, the Chrome supers, graded, just to have them encased.
Yeah, that extra protection.
Yeah, I would say they're all going to be at best 9s, because no matter what, Clay does not have a year where centering was good. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
His rookie year, he had to have been on one of the ends, because his reds out of 25 are some of the worst centered cards I've ever seen. I've never seen a clean copy of it. Exactly, Joey. Devastated.
See, and I don't even think that's the word.
No.
Honestly. An orange?
It would be anger and emptiness.
Oh, it'd be
that. Yeah, that's fair.
That's a beautiful card.
And that was a cheap buy recently, so that was.
What are those two, Dave? The orange.
25.
Okay. I thought it was, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, that one's held consistent over the years. The oranges have held consistent at 25.
And that
So
was,
I haven't showed this. Go ahead, Dave. Finish up.
$8.99 right now.
Wow.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
Could not hit it quick enough. If I haven't bought one, but
I just made a trade with somebody today. The guy Ron Steve Marion. Do you remember that name? Or recognize that name? He's the guy that collects 2011 Topps football.
yeah, okay, yep.
That guy. He traded me the Packers team card red border team set or factory set out of 77.
Mm-hmm.
I traded him a copy. I had 2 or 3 copies of the black border of that card, and he needed one because he was down to only needed like 3 cards to finish the black border set. And he needed one of those, so I traded it to him for the red. Well, he messaged me out of the blue today because some robot spammed his page and commented under everybody that had commented on a post from like a year or 2 ago. And they commented on my comment. But anyway, he messages me and he goes, I'm still collecting the set. He goes, I'm down to needing maybe 30 of the reds now, something like that. And I was like, and he goes, I still don't have a clay regular red. I said, I've got 2 of them. I said, I'll send one your way. I said, I bought both of them. I said, I'm pretty sure I have 2. And I looked and I did. I bought both of them off eBay. And I said, I'll send you one. He goes, at least let me pay for shipping. I'm like, nah, I'm not worried about it. And he goes, I said, I'm not worried about it. I said, if down the road you get a duplicate of the Randall Cobb rookie card red, I said, you can just send it my way. That'll be good. He goes, actually, I've got 3 of them. So I'm swapping him one of those. And he's also got a duplicate of BJ Raji he's going to send me.
Okay.
So I know Joey will be happy about that, getting another Raji card in. So I'm trading my duplicate clay for Randall Cobb and BJ Raji. So there's still deals to be made out there. That's just fun stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be high end.
Well, then you're not sitting there and looking up comps and fucking book value if you want to do it that way or whatever the case may be. You're just like, you need this one for your set. If you got a couple that I can use,
yeah,
we can just wing it and we're good. That work? Perfect. Good. Done.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to find the people who are willing to deal in stuff like that, though, because it seems like everybody focuses on high end shit.
Yeah,
I mean, there is no. It's almost like the middle ground and the low end has completely like disappeared off the face of the earth.
The only time you're going to see the lower end is base rookie cards that people got in group breaks.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you're ever going to see. Nobody shows me like $10, $15 parallel cards from 5 years ago. I never see that stuff. That stuff doesn't get posted.
No.
Yeah, because nobody wants. The thought process is nobody wants to see it.
Yep. Nobody wants to see it, and nobody wants to take the time to ship it.
It just, and of course, all of us here, including the guy who's not on camera, we thrive on that shit. We love that shit. It doesn't have to be case hits either.
No.
It's anything, and it doesn't have to be from the 90s. I mean, there's still cool shit in the 2000s, the 2010s, and even now, there's still some cool shit.
Absolutely.
But everybody focuses on low-numbered parallels, like low number, of big-name guys and or high-end autos, patches.
Yep.
Nobody gives a shit about the other stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about my collection are my the black border cards and the factory set cards. Because the factory sets were all orange except for the final or 2011 were red. Every other year since then has been orange.
Mm-hmm.
And then the black borders were black borders all the way up until the final year in 2015. They did red for the 60th anniversary of Topps football. It's like some red sparkle look to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost everything that I have set aside for people that, I'm taking, or I should say shipping and then taking, it's most of it's newer stuff. It's base cards because not everybody breaks a lot of the newer products. Inserts, parallels, that type of stuff. And it's not a whole lot of money, but at the same time, it's stuff that I've pulled, which is one of the main things that I've always told Vinny. Some of the favorite things that he includes in his Christmas packages is stuff that he and C have pulled. That adds sentimental value to me, and you can't put a price on that.
Absolutely.
And that's why I, even this year, out of the setup that I'm constructing, one part of it is nothing but pack pulled. And I'm trying to make that the biggest stack of stuff because I'd rather have a story and something behind something that I'm giving to somebody. But other times I just want to freaking hit you with a banger. And it just, because there's, I've been shopping for Christmas, and I told Meredith the other day, I said, "Oh, I got a banger." Woo! And it was just like, I did that twice so far this year, and I'm like, they're perfect. But you have to buy those because I can't go. That box is $145 a piece when they come out, and you get one card. The odds are a slight bit against me, and the other one is 1 in 300 and one per, I think it's one per case. So I'm not seeing those.
No.
And sometimes you just gotta do that kind of stuff because it's just the way it is.
Yep. But it's like I said, I still have an opportunity from time to time to open some of the newer stuff because of retail. And it's like, Michael, I know you don't open anything really anymore. Dave, you open very little, and what you do open usually is more baseball oriented on the newer stuff than you do football. Unless we're doing chasing the hits, then of course that's different. But it's like Michael, you wouldn't go out and buy any of these cards. You know what I mean? It's something that may be minuscule from a value perspective, but like I said, there's always a story.
Yeah.
And as you build relationships and have conversations, Michael, I know we've talked a lot in the past, not so much as what we used to.
Right.
But we would talk about the various care packages that, you and I have exchanged over the years. And if something was pack pulled or if it was something that I bought.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those in which, to me, it's not important, but to somebody who puts added value on the sentimental aspect of it, it's important for people to know, hey, you know what? Almost everything you got in that package, I personally pulled at some point in my life.
Yeah, which is impressive.
So, I mean, stumbling across the freaking 2009 Donruss Classics parallel of Clay Matthews, number 200.
Yeah.
I pulled that in 2009. And freaking going through, as I was sorting through stuff, I'm like, well, shit. Even if Michael has it, I don't give a shit. I'm going to send it to him.
Yeah,
But
and if I had one, it wouldn't matter. I would like that one more because it was pack pulled by you.
And then you can sell the other one to get something else.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I always said, and I know Steve doesn't wholeheartedly agree, if I would send you guys something that would allow you to get a Grail card, sell the son of a gun. Like at Mahomes, I sent you. I know it's not the greatest Mahomes rookie, but if some guy goes, well, I could sure use this, and out the door, because in my thought process, the Mahomes is now the TD, and to me, part of that TD is that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's one way to look at it.
But I'd probably ask permission before I would do anything. That's the big thing. Like
big
for
time.
me, it's everything that everybody's ever got me. Like that Nolan Ryan set that's in the jewel case you sent me, Steve. Over my dead body, would I ever sell that? Because that set has so many things about it that I remember my brothers and I buying the boxes to put those sets together. Where they ended up, I don't know. The fact that you put it together on your grandmother's table is another thing, because that's where I did all my stuff, is at the kitchen table with my grandfather sitting here drinking coffee and my grandma saying, well, Poncho, you got to do this, this, and this. This is how you should sort them. And that's how I started to sort cards. 91, 92 Upper Deck Series 1 and 2 when I was trying to put the sets together. I don't think I ever finished them. And it's just like, those are the things now that I got boxes. I'm going to crack in boxes and I'm going to put those sets together once and for all, and they're going to feel complete to me. Like that's my deal. Like,
and I get that.
It's the nostalgia of it.
My two favorite cards that I've ever sent to Michael, and he'll remember them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of them right now.
The 97 Pinnacle Certified Mirror Red Reggie White.
Yep, that's one.
Pack pulled by me. And the Kevin Garnett.
Yep, the Century Legends out of 100.
Yep.
Those were the two cards I immediately thought of.
Yep. Pack pulled. And
that's crazy, because those that Century Legends card is so impossible. And it's crazy. You just happen to pull Garnett.
Well, and the fact that, I mean, here's my issue. I've opened so much shit over the years, not just like personal, but even when I was doing the boxes. A lot of the money I made from selling those boxes, I also bought my own boxes from the shop owner. So it's like I was buying boxes that I normally wouldn't buy because I had shit there. And I'm like, I've kind of wanted to open this. Why not? And because I got a little bit at a discount, I opened a lot of stuff that I normally wouldn't have ever opened, which is why I had a lot of the Garnett stuff. And some of the coolest cards that I had from a basketball perspective just happened to be Garnett.
Yeah.
Go figure. But that's the shit that I've always enjoyed. And as I continue to start looking through stuff, that's where
here's a picture of one. This one there was one that actually sold back in February.
How much did it go for?
I look. It was $99.99 our best offer.
Okay.
So I'm guessing went right around that, because I think the last time I saw one sold for like $1.25.
Yeah. So we're not talking, $500-$600, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah, makes
even in
no
that
difference.
sense. But Michael got to experience some of that in the past. Dave got to experience some of that over the years as well. Like Vinny, you and Bob, at some point will get to experience some of that stuff as I continue to look through like some of my football inserts and that type of shit. Because I've got stuff spanning a shit ton of years. And all my inserts and parallels are thrown in multiple boxes. And it just takes time to sort through some of that shit.
It is the journey of finding cars for other people that makes this hobby fun for me again. I will tell you
100%.
that. I love looking for cards for me, but I was talking to Joe, what was it, yesterday? I said, you got the McDonald's cards from up there? The ones that were released from up in Canada? He's like, no. I'm like, I sent him to Bob last year because I was saying I won all those jewel cases that were like 40 to 100 cards a piece for $3, $4. I think it was, my math was probably bad. I probably spent closer to $100 on all of them. But I got a box this big with all these jewel cases, and it's like base card, 100 copies of it. And for me, it was looking for that one, like Elite Go 3 does, that's going to be the one that gems out if I didn't already have a pack pulled one. Because I separate all my pack pull cards. All my pack pull cards are in a top loader or in a binder. But if I get a card that I buy, much like Elite Go 3, I just mark it with a little tinge right here in the corner. That means I bought it. So I know what's pack pulled and what's not. And when I go hunting, like when I found that NT for Dave last year, Meredith found the helmet. I said, what can we get Dave? And she found that helmet. I said, that is so badass that there I did it again, Dad. Sorry. But I was like, that is just wicked. But then last year, I was sort of on my own looking for stuff. And I'm like, that NT card is just screaming. And I'm like, wonder what he'll take for this. What's funny, I was looking the other day, there's 2 of them with not the coordinated patches that are on bids right now of that NT card. I saw both of them. And then it wasn't last year because I went because you bought that friggin' collection. I couldn't go after stuff for TD because I was afraid I was going to double up. And that was my biggest, I said, but man, and then Brad and I were apparently on the same wavelength, for the Atwater and the Romanowski. And it's just like the year before, though, when Meredith and I were looking at those and we're like, she's like, you watch this one, I'll watch that one. You get that one, I'll get this one. And then she's like, it'll never go that high. And she put the bid, she goes, we were in the Chick-fil-A line. She goes, I want it. I said, what do you mean you want it? She goes, I want it. I said, so we got both. And then when you told me mine, the one I got you, had that ding in the window, oh, I was pissed.
Crease.
But those cards, there's so many I find that those thicker, older cards have those creases in them.
Yep.
And it just sucks, but
I was crushed for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
As I was sorting through stuff and I'm like, what? No. And then, of course, I look at it more and I'm going, well, that fucking sucks. And a part of me didn't want to tell you, but a part of me was like, I felt like you needed to know. Doesn't change anything.
No.
It still holds a special place in my heart. And it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah. Even if I get one that doesn't have the creases, that one still means that much more than the one that I would get later to replace it, per se.
And I think the hunt this year, once you talked me off the ledge, and I sat there and I was talking to DC about the whole thing, because he's my Christmas confidant, if you will, of me searching out people, because I always start with Roberto, because baseball season we're always in the middle of winter, and that's the best time. And I was finishing up the next person, and then I'm like, well, I'm on to this person and the lowest rung, which is him. And he's like, well, you could get those to me in 50 years. Because that's the way he goes, just in time for me to move. And I was like, those are the kind of answers too that I want to get. You know, it's like, don't send me anything. And how do you not hit him back when you sit there and you look at that Warren Moon card and all these the memories of my grandfather saying, "Look at that guy run. Look at him run. Look at that arm." He goes, "That's what Pittsburgh needs. They need Warren Moon." And it takes me back, and I mean, you can.
Yeah, it's the memories.
My hair standing up because I'm thinking about it, and people don't realize it's those cards have every card, every chase has a meaning. Even it's stupid, but I can almost remember where I got a lot of this stuff, you know, and it's Joe messaged me. He goes, "Do you know Collects on Instagram?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's got the Canadian exclusive, and I already have it. I'll tell him to reach out. So I was going to ask Dave to. I was like, "Hey, you know this guy? You want to broker a deal with me?" Well, he reached out himself. So before I know it, I'm sitting there talking to him, and I take down a card for the most reasonable price that you could ask for. And it's like, now I got another guy, you know, in a hobby that I know, and the kid's the nicest kid in the world. And he's a kid to me because he's way younger than I am. So, I mean, and here's the kicker. So here's the card.
You're not that old though, Vinny.
Yeah, I
just
know,
for the
but
record.
I feel like I'm 25, man. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, thanks, better half. Appreciate that. So here's the kicker. It's 17. That's C's birthday. Is the 17th. So that's the Canadian exclusives. Killer price, great card. There we go. But then he throws in two cards, and two cards that I absolutely love. The certified, this thing, or the certified, this is out of 500. And then there's the mirror red and the mirror blue. And then I have the signature, the auto numbered, I think it's 5, the emerald. And I love this card. I just love this freaking card.
Did they do
have,
did they do platinum for hockey? Platinum parallels?
I'd have to look. No, they did in some years they didn't.
Okay.
And then this one, the legendary contenders. Now they have a playoff contenders that looks more like the ticket that's in baseball, but all of them on this down here, there's almost like a smudge mark when they went through the roller. Every Lemieux I've ever seen has smudge marks down here. But he sent me these two for free. I'm like, dude, do you know that those are like two of my favorite cards? Like anything with him in those uniforms, I'm like, thanks. And he dropped them off in the mail, and boom, they were here. And I was like, so if I see Brodeurs out there, there's going to be two people. I'm going to be like, David, do you need this? If it's in his realm, or I'll just buy it for him for Christmas. And then I'll message Calvin and say, hey, I seen this Brodeur out here. Do you need it? Because you hooked me up, I will hook you up. And it's just, those are the kind of people you want to meet in the hobby, which leads me to another segue. Who other than our little group of people of the IRP family are we looking forward to meeting at the National?
So before anybody answers that real quick, just from a clarification perspective, Vinny, because I know you asked when I sent you the checklist, you asked a question. And of course, my typical smartass response was maybe. And I know that didn't sit well with you. That is as current at the time that it could have been. That was inclusive of the collection.
Yeah.
So outside of that, everything that I've gotten since then, you have seen. And it's like the big time stuff.
Yeah.
Don't show fucking gummy bears, Dave. How dare you? Fucker.
Every time I see him, I think about his comment from the Christmas episode. They're just gonna bury me in gummy bears, and I got to eat around gummy bears. Well, there's a toe right there. I just that sticks. It's funny because I watched that episode because Ghost barks a lot, and I just want to hear him bark. And I was watching it today, and like I can almost repeat that episode word for word. It's
when you've seen it 50 times or whatever.
It has 234 views.
230 of them are you.
No, that was, I say probably 90 of them because that was a very watched episode.
It was.
But I bet like I probably watched it once or twice a week since Christmas. Thank you, Barry.
So I did at least want you to know that when I sent that to you, like I said, you've seen everything since then. I've shown you. I've shown Dave. But that is current.
And it wasn't last year, it was the year before. You're like, well, you had the list. I'm like, no, I didn't at the time. When I bought all your Christmas stuff that year, that you were like, I don't have this. I don't have this. I didn't have the list because all your stuff was already done. So I don't know how I lucked out and did it. There was only one duplicate in all those cards, which I think is pretty spectacular because when you have somebody that has over 2,000, it's hard not to duplicate. You know, it's really hard not to duplicate unless you have their list. Because I've hit over. Look at Dave up there. Yeah. I hit over 2,000 the other day. I was putting stuff away. I kind of did it in one fell swoop. They did a tribute to Lemieux, and I think ITG Signature Series, maybe it is, or memorabilia. It was a 20 card set, and they're thick cards on heavy card stock. And I put them all on top loaders, and there was 20 of those, and boom, it put me right over 2,000. And
damn it, somebody should have scanned that fucking code.
I mean, we'll have it in the replay.
Yeah.
But who wants to ruin it?
So obviously at PSA, rookie year, Dave? Just going to ask.
It's between 95 and 22.
Wow.
Thanks for narrowing it down, Dave.
There was one that I did find. Again, me looking at lists, even my own, is very rare. But when I remember you going through all your years of shit that you went through, I'm like, I'm fairly confident I have never seen one of anyone. So that means you didn't show a TD, and I'm like, throw down the appropriate number, and nobody else bid. I'm like, what?
Well,
Damn.
And for me, like I said, right now, it's slim pickings for me as it is, because, like I said, I'm trying to avoid dipping into the national fund because I have a budget in mind for a few people. So it's like and if I start dipping into it, then that budget starts reducing. And that's not what I want, because I'm gonna try and go big this year, which is why all the small stuff is going to national. So it's gonna be one of those that it's like, come Christmas time, here it is. You know, it may be 1 or 2 cards, maybe 3 cards, and it's gonna be a fucking kick in the nuts each time you freaking open something.
It's the
Dave
best
is-
freaking feeling in the world.
Dave is a little bit more difficult, but I already have 2 cards from Dave, and he's probably got them. But, well, he's probably got one of them. But it's one of those in which I've never seen it that he's shown off over the years. So I'm hoping, but it's not a kick in the nuts. It's a slight
Nudge.
flick, you know.
It's a flick of the ear.
But those two will lead up to the kick in the nuts. Is what I'm shooting for. But anyways,
As we've all said many a time, there's nobody here that's doing this because we're gonna we want shit in return. We want
Nope.
No.
put us on the billboard and fucking spread our name and ever.
But to answer Vinny's question before I go for the night,
thank you. I wanted to circle back to that.
about people I'm looking for outside of the group, looking forward to seeing or whatnot. For meeting for the first time, I'm looking forward to meeting Brad. I've never met Brad in person. He's one I missed out on last time. But Brad, and then folks that you don't know, there's the guy I made all the deals with, the Clay 101s, and the one I sold the 2012 Prism Rainbow to, Ty. He's going to be there, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. I don't even know what he looks like.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's cool.
I don't know him at all, but it'll be meeting Vinny for the first time in person, and then
Meeting Steve.
And Steve. Yeah.
And him.
Yeah. And then people who I have met before, but I don't get to see except for in Chicago. Looking forward to seeing and hanging out with Grant. I know you know who he is. You guys may recognize the screen name from Blowout Card Forums, T-Narg. He's one of the old time dudes. He's been around forever. And
the Beckett message board.
He purchased the best Brett Favre card in existence. And he's a Bears fan. But he got the Brett Favre from the NFL Logo Shield autograph from the first year of NT.
He's got some wicked stuff over the years and how his collecting has changed from Bernard Barbarian or whatever
and he had a massive Devin Hester collection at one time. He's moved all that stuff on. He doesn't have a whole lot anymore, but what he has is like, holy hell, man. But yeah, he messaged me. It was either last week or the week before. I think it was last week. He goes, I bought something. I said, oh yeah, what's that? He goes, you're going to hate me. I was like, oh yeah. And then he shot me over the picture of it. I go, I mean, yeah, I hate you, but congratulations. I mean, the card is so pretty. It's unreal. But, because it didn't go out in all those eBay listings. That guy didn't have it. Somebody else had it, and they actually put it on Facebook for $4,000 to me, which I thought was incredibly reasonable considering what all that stuff had just. And I don't know. I doubt Grant paid $4 for it because Grant never pays full price for anything. But whatever he paid for it was well worth it. But Grant's one I always enjoy seeing there. And then I get to see Joey again. I haven't seen Joey since, it would have been 19. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun few days. Yeah, and I still got to figure out if John's coming or not. If not, I will likely fly. Because I found direct flights to Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to kind of keep us in the loop if that's the case, because somebody will have to swing by and get you, because that Uber or cab ride would be expensive.
Yeah.
Looks like we're picking up 2 people at the airport.
Yeah, even from the airport to the venue, I think it'd probably be over $100 for an Uber.
Who else are we picking up?
Joe, remember?
Oh, I didn't know we were picking up Joe. Because originally Bob was taking the bus, so I knew we were supposed to pick up Bob.
Yeah.
Bob was able to get a ride, but at the same time, I don't think that his ride is going to take him all the way to where we are. So we still need to be able to coordinate that, whether it be us or you, Dave, somebody.
We'll probably pick him up at the show because whoever he's with is probably going right to the show.
Yeah.
And that could be. I mean, we have time to figure all that shit out, but I mean, we definitely need to make sure we stay in contact and figure out.
We got to get a car too.
I want to figure out what's going on with John pretty quick. That way I can book my flight if that's the case. And if I am going to fly, I probably won't bring very many cards at all because I'm not checking any baggage. I mean, if it was, I would check my clothes and take my cards on the plane to my seat. But
see, all I do is carry on, so that's why I'm shipping stuff.
And that's all I've ever done is carry on. I don't ever check my bags because I don't want that shit getting lost.
No, it's not a fun experience, especially when you get your shit like 3 days later.
Because that doesn't help me.
Exactly.
But okay, guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night. Good chatting with you all. Look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday.
Yes,
absolutely. Good chat with you, Michael.
We'll see next Tuesday.
It may be Wednesday, Michael. It may be Wednesday.
I mean, there you go. Whatever day. I'm good on every day right now because I don't have to bowl. But okay, guys. Later.
Take it easy, man. I mean, I'll answer the question next, but it's meeting everybody. You know, outside of Ryan and Neil, who I've met, but it would be good to see them again because it's been a decade since I've seen them. So, I mean, outside of that, it's just, especially those that I've talked to on the phone, texted, interacted here. Freaking actually like being at the hotel and stuff with just this kind of, and I can't even call it the core anymore because, Joe's at the same place. Mark will probably be crashing with us potentially. I mean, at least that's what he said. It's just, that's the experiences that I'm looking forward to. That going out to dinner, having a few drinks, that type of shit. That's the stuff that I'm more excited about. And, casual conversations, having a good laugh, that type of shit. The show to me is the bonus. But at the same time, if I don't find anything for anybody, there's other avenues. I'd like to get it there so I actually have it already. But at the same time, it's not going to ruin my show experience if I come home with absolutely fucking nothing other than the memories, the conversations, and, for those people who actually bring stuff and give stuff to people, that type of stuff. But that's not what it's about. Go into, a YouTube hangout after the show because I'm sure there'll be a couple at various places. Those are the ones that I'm looking forward to. And I prefer them to be a hangout. Fuck the whole trade nights. No offense. I'm not taking anything to fucking trade. I want to go for the interactions and actually meeting the people. Period. And, it's going to sound cliche based on, what this show was founded on. We all came together because of the hobby. The cards could still go away tomorrow for all of us. Mm-hmm. And we'd still be fucking friends. We'd still be family. So it's like the outro was not just a saying. We say it all the time. It's not just a saying. We live it, we breathe it as best as what we can. Sometimes it's difficult to branch out from time to time. Let's face it. Life gets in the way. But when opportunity presents itself, we try and grab it by the reins and try and build on other relationships. It's not from lack of effort. So that's where I'm coming from, Benny.
Canadian Cards Mike. I definitely want to meet him because I met him and I didn't know who he was at the card show here in Michigan. He came down to see Triple Crown 24, JT. So, but him and I probably talked on him on Instagram, was one of the first people that followed me on Instagram. So I've known Mike for a while. So, and I've had a stack of cards for him since before the pandemic. And it'll be nice to say, here's your dang cards that I've been meaning to get to you, because he had the surgery for his hip and all the other stuff that went on and couldn't come down here because of the border and all that stuff. So now that he's going to be there, it'll be cool to meet Mike. That's one person he frequents the show, but not as much as other people. All the people here, that show up in the chat and everything, that's just a given. But Mike's one of the guys I definitely want to meet. So, and like Steve said, whoever shows up, man, it'll be cool. It'd be cool to meet Pepino, man. He's just a riot. So I think that'd be cool. His love of the hobby and making sets and all that stuff. It's just, he's very old school in that manner. And that always gravitated me towards, when he's sorting his cards and putting his sets together. I just think that's cool stuff. Very, very old school. Reminds me of younger days where was the goal. You get all the cards, you put them in a binder, and there's your set. And, you look at his wall with all his sets and stuff. That's always pretty cool. So, it depends on who shows up. There's a lot of people that'd be cool to meet. B. Roth, Michael Shane. I've watched his videos for a long time. Probably doesn't know me for anybody. The Chosen Roster. I can't think of his name.
Sean.
Yeah, Sean Tieford. I watched his stuff about the Jewish baseball stuff, and that's just fascinating to me. Just absolutely fascinating. So he's another guy, Edward's part of the bunch, but it'll just be cool to see everybody in one place, and then you bump into them and say, hey, so-and-so, and they'll be like, who the heck are you? But once you say YouTube, it's like, oh, okay. You're part of the I don't want to say clique or group, or because how our friend Sports Card Dad, since we don't have 1 million followers or whatever, we don't count. So I challenge you to find better friends than we have that are loyal to the soil. Therein lies my thing, because 103 of us versus thousands of you, I guarantee 99% are going to roll deep. But there's probably a good bit of us that are going to stand there and say, hey, we're together, we're friends, always going to be friends. And like Steve, if the cards disappeared tomorrow, we talk about fishing or disturbing literature or meat sticks or chocolate sticks. Yeah. Speaking of, where has young Eric been?
Too busy for us.
Yeah. But it'll just be nice to hang out. Like my mom was saying today, wow, you keep an eye on. It's like, do you realize who she's going to be with? She's like, well, you don't know those people. I'm like, oh, sweet Lord, woman, you just don't get it. And I could hear my dad in the background. Bros, those guys are like his brothers. If he trusts Nick with her, and he says he's with these guys like he trusts his brother Nick, those people would go to war for her. So just calm your nerves and go sit down and hand me the phone. It's just, my aunt said the same thing to me. Were you sure you? I said, Lord, here we go. Round two. My uncle, the same thing. I'm like, you guys just don't get it. It's not. I guarantee Naomi and Cece will not be out of our sight. And Trista's going to be there. So it's like, I'm like, Mom, I'll have Trista go to the bathroom with Naomi, and then I'll wait outside the door. It's just, they're not going to get lost. They're not going to get snaggled. We're all going to travel in one big pack. And trust me, I said, you don't want Dave to bull moose you if you're starting to come at us.
They'll be better protected than the president if you really put things into perspective.
Agreed.
So, and the fact of the matter, whether they like your wife or don't like your wife is irrelevant. But if your wife can trust a random stranger to stay at your house for 2 days, to then travel with her husband and daughter to another state, that ought to say something too.
They just, as we've said before, it's hard for people to understand. It's like Stove said, it's like, you're going to stay in a room with these people you don't know? Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And it's like, they might be murderers, but they're my murderers. Allegedly, it's like he's a mook, but he's my mook. It's different. For us, it's different. I don't know how to verbalize it in a way that people who aren't involved in it can understand, unless you're very close to it. Like the better half. She gets it.
But on the flip side, okay, so we've been doing IRP, what are we, 138?
133.
Okay. I was close. So that's 2 years.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm getting at, that's 2 years straight. On top of the phone calls, the text messages, the Instagram messages from time to all that stuff, it would be no different. It's almost like having a pen pal.
Exactly.
The difference is we actually talk face to face in our interactions a lot of the time, and on the phone and via text messages. So it's like it's being a pen pal on steroids.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's not like it would be. It would also be a little bit different if all we talked about was cards.
Yeah.
If that's the only type of conversation that we had, there was no personal connection, no talking about wives or grandparents or kids or whatever. If there was no personal ties or personal conversation, then I could understand other family members being a little bit more leery.
Yeah.
But it's one of those in which and I understand where you're coming from. It's difficult to put things into perspective and explain something to somebody because it's difficult to find the way to put it and wrap it all up in a nice little tight bow. So then maybe they can comprehend.
Correct.
Trista's involved in it. She understands, she sees it. My wife sees it, understands it. And of course, for my wife, she goes way back. So it's, they all get it. Okay, I'm back. My Wi-Fi had a glitch there for a second. You kind of all went circles. But it's difficult to somebody who deals specifically with interactions face to face and or email for that matter. But it's different, and it's the digital age. So it's like a lot of this shit. This is how you interact with people. I mean, shit. People are marrying or finding their significant others on dating apps because of the digital age. So it's like, why is that okay for some people, but this seems odd? I don't know. But yeah, Carlos, perfect timing as we were actually about to wrap it up for the evening. So I was just going to tell you, Dave, coming up on 2.5 hours. Perfect time.
I'd say, I don't know who I'm, again, without repeating the same names. Just anyone that wants to talk hobby, talk hobby, and then talk whatever else. But I mean, I don't want to hear tag grading. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care about having a show every night of the week and how you value all these content creators. You know, you value branching out so you can get like another 50 subscribers. That's what you want. Even the people that I don't like, if there's like at least conversations that can be had. It'll be tough not to change opinions because again, once something's said, once something's done, it's pretty hard to dig out of that hole. And when you're specific in your words and then you try to turn your words into like, well, no, I really didn't mean that. And the people that know me, that they know what I meant. No, well, no, you fucking said it. You didn't have an asterisk or like a sidebar. You fucking said what you said and you meant what you said. So, I don't know, like the YouTube get together thing. That might be something we do, just because again, that's specific for us. Who knows? Because it's not like the usual trade nights. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be on little pissant kids and fucking Mojo and fucking Fat Santiago and fucking sports card Dick and fucking floating head. I don't want to be around these guys and kids, and it's like it feels too much like Neverland Ranch. I don't want that feeling. I don't fucking care. I don't care that much about cards. I know nobody there is gonna have anything. I'll wipe my ass with your Lucas. I'll piss on your Pats. I'll fucking shit out your Josh Allens. I don't care. So none of that matters at all to me. That's just, if I wanted to feel like a sardine, I'd get in a fucking Subway after a Cubs game. That's the fucking. Yeah. Floating head and his bullshit. I thought he had a kid, but I guess the kid doesn't matter anymore. Gotta create content constantly. The sports card dud. But yeah, just seeing some of the guys that I haven't met, where there are people I haven't met yet. So, but for me too, it's seeing a lot of these fuckers I haven't seen in a decade. I haven't seen since 11 at National there. So the lawyer friend, thankfully, we got a lawyer friend. If he shows up with maybe his kids, because he's over. He used to be in Aurora, sort of by Wayne and Garth. I think he's over that way. The guy that I stay with over in Leland, now he lives in Ottawa, Illinois, which is a little further west. Lonnie, the Pistons fan, I think is going to be there. Dazzler, haven't met him yet. I mean, the guys that go like way fucking back that we've known forever and a day. If Foxy's going to be there, Crypto Grifter, Brad, the guys from 10 years plus, and then the guys I haven't seen in that 10 years. That'll be the fun part. And because now, with us being on this, Steve and I being on YouTube for how long, with our own videos and shit, you know more people. You just, even if you don't know them, it's like, okay, this person over here, they know you collect TD, or fuck, you're the guy with the burners, you get burns, or Baz with his wreath comments, you're the lawn dart Christmas Arbor Day fucking Edmund Fitzgerald Sinking Day wreath on your door. So yeah, that's me. So I mean, that'll be the interesting part. That I think will be the one thing that I will not feel comfortable with. If people that we really don't know, they can't like say, hey, we watch the IRP or we watch your videos. I'm so and so, I comment on them. Okay, I know you. It's just like some random, because that's the funny story. If you watch or look at the video that I put up Naomi pitching, there's a comment down there, and my mom was watching the fucking stands. And so I'm off to the side. On the other side, there's like the dugout, the two holes, one obviously closer for the bats. The other side is better for the pitching. I could get that full side view pitching. And she's like, were there kids from Ely in the bleachers? And I said, well, there's a couple, but I mean, they weren't really kids. There's a junior, and then a kid that graduated. We know them from church and through their families way back. I'm like, that's all I saw really of kids. And she's like, no, these were like maybe Naomi's age, a couple years older. I don't know. Not that I saw. And again, this wasn't like 500 people were there. It was, you could look around and you could pick out who you knew. So she's like, no. They were saying that like these two kids. Like, no, that's that guy. I know him from YouTube. That's Amish Dave. And I'm just like, that's fucking weird. Because I put all the titles of like the schools they play, so that maybe from basketball season they saw Northwoods up there, and I'm like, because my mom's like, yeah, they're like yelling, and I'm like, well, I'm fucking videotaping. I have like, I'm not even in the realm of, you could say this, you're on fire, and I wouldn't even know. So I mean, it's like, you gotta do a lot to get the attention. I'm like, I had no fucking clue. And I don't even know what I would have said. Because I wouldn't have handed them a tag sticker or a fucking Sports Card Live like beanie or fucking goddamn life-size upper deck poster fucking standee thing that I'm standing next to because I'm just a fucking whore. But I'm like, that's going to be the odd part if you get like kids coming up to you. Like, I watch your videos. Like, why? I mean, what? Are you like a masochist or something? Or I'm like, I don't really. What's really? I guess thank you, but man, is there like a Fortnite tutorial or something you can watch? Or fuck, I don't know. Don't they have like an ASMR of like grass growing? I mean, there's got to be something better. So that will be the thing if people that you don't have a clue about, that aren't on like your fucking radar from last week's. That's a nice carryover. fucking mouth breather. Stay over there. Busy. Who wants a tag membership? Buy one, get one 80% off. I mean 80% of price. Buy one, get one 100%. Tag, it's the best coaster. I mean the holder.
Oh, he beat me to the coaster. I was gonna interject that.
So that'll be interesting because again, that's not something I really care about. It's like you entertain the people you. It's like, hey, you break it down in your group, so you get your card friends who, like the coworkers, will be like, you're going to same thing, going to stay with these guys you've never met. Yeah, what if they kill you? I'm like, I'll be in the news. I don't know. What the fuck? I'll be dead. That doesn't matter at the time. I mean, what do you want me to do? I don't fucking know. I will be dead if they kill me. That's a pretty much a final ending. That's where my story ends. I mean, there might be
Hashtag facts.
there'll be some notes afterwards about like what happened, but I'm done. And you can almost see like because it's like the one of the produce gals. I was neighbors with her at my mom's for how many years, and we've just known each other forever. And I know she asked that like a long time ago. She, again, the same thing. One of the other women that runs the dairy, it's like Mother Hubbard. She's like, well, what if these people hurt you? I'm like, well, they're not going to touch me. So, I mean, no, what kind of hurt? I mean, this like little kid hurt or like, what do you think they're going to do? Take my like $10 and fucking kick me? I don't know. It's like, I'll fart on them. That's what I'll do. I'll fucking fart. I don't know. These, I think I'm a pretty good judge of character. I'm not just going to go into a fucking Hell's Angels rally and like blackface and be like, fight the power. I'm like, what the fuck? Where are you living? So you got your like your your like internet friends, and then you do it for like maybe people at work. You're like, you know what? Watch the Whoop There It Is video. Watch like the shower video. Watch something stupid where you're like absolutely repulsed and like I didn't know those parts of your body existed, and I really didn't want to see them like jiggling around. Fair enough, but I didn't really care about that, so you get to see it. But you don't, and again, it's YouTube, it's a public fucking platform. But you're not thinking of like random passerbys like stopping and like, the fuck is going on here? You're not in this like a street corner in fucking Las Vegas or LA like performing, so that'll be the weird part. Again, if it's and especially if it's like something that's like you should stop doing videos, you're stupid. Be like, well, I wish your mother would have swallowed you and fucking did the fucking world a favor. I don't know. I figure there's gonna be fun there to be had, and I know a lot of window lickers are gonna be licking the windows of fucking cases and display shit. So I hope we can get to Ryan's table. I think if nothing, at the very least, we can get behind there, maybe at least exchange pleasantries and say, hey, let's try to meet up somewhere, like afterwards. I mean, if nothing else than for like a dinner. And that could be like planned ahead too. Be like, hey, if we can do this and not try to talk business, just sit down and like just fucking shoot this shit as like old comrades. That's what I'd like to do. I don't want to fucking hear. We can do. They've got their shit they're doing with their podcast. What is it called? Mic'd Up or something. I think that's more on the left.
Kicking it with the crew.
Yeah. and that's more on the podcast platforms where you just listen to it. We've got our stuff. We don't need to be sitting there talking the same shit we talk about on fucking podcasts and shows and shit like that. It's like, nope. I like to differentiate or like deviate from that typical conversation. So
we should probably reach out now and see if they've already got like plans after the show.
I'm sure they'll have some night of what the at least one of the vendor nights or whatever, maybe two of like the dealer nights or the card shop guys that they've got. Like, here's an upper deck party, or here's a fucking Panini party, or Fanatics, or whatever the case may be. Something like that. So, and if they do, that's again, that's their business. It's not like we're gonna sit there and badmouth them. So, but it'd be nice to have a couple of those like tech dinners where you can. It's almost like you want to have a huge hall where it's like a reception hall. You just want to have that so you can just go like a speed dating, like getting to see like YouTubers or fellow collectors, some that may not make YouTube shit anymore, but folks you know from YouTube or the digital world, as it were. So after that fucking soliloquy, just like buried the end of the show.
on brand, Dave. On brand.
Oh, absolutely. So I need to have in the little logo me carrying a fucking shovel. Buried in the end. Thank you all for watching. Michael, thank him for coming on, commenting, joining in. Again, if you got questions, comments, queries, criticisms, any of that fun, you're watching this in the archive, feel free to comment. One of us, two of us, three of us will get back to you at some relatively quick point. If not within a day, probably a week, I'd imagine. Seeing, I usually go back, and that's about the only thing I look at. If I go back to watch the video, I stop it, and then I look to see if there's any comments, and then if there's something we can answer.
I try to do the same.
And I always give it a thumbs up, which you should do. So I'm bookending that too. Like, comment, subscribe, send us money. We're going to the National, if you haven't heard. Next week, again, up in the air. I'd try to put one of those updates out, but I'm not that smart. So I've seen people just post it like it's a Facebook post or something like, here, this is my video coming out. And
it's a community post.
Congrats.
I think is what they call it.
Yeah. So when I see the coach tomorrow, so I sort of get like I don't know if a heads up or more clarification, as it were, for next week. So with that, Steve, guy down there's Vinny. I'm Dave. This has been the Instant Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, it's an absolutely wonderful hobby. The friendships that you forge in this hobby, it's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.